What's up guys, we're back again today with another great video, and in today's video we're actually going to be working on the Highlander, as you guys can see here. This is a really cool video. We're actually going to be adding some lights to the hatch part in the back. We use our Highlander a lot to travel, and when we're traveling we put the dogs in the very back, and a lot of times we'll also be traveling at nighttime. So this will be nice when we open the hatch, we go to rest stops, wherever, to let the dogs out to use the bathroom. We'll have a good lighted area around the back of the car so we can see really good. And then also when we're going to the grocery store, things like that, this will add some more light in the trunk area. That way we can see to put our groceries in, or you know, whatever you need to do, or if you're a person that goes camping, stuff like that, this will be really good for you guys. So stay tuned, let's go ahead and jump into the install. Alright, so first things first, let's go over the product. So here is the product right here, and this is actually from our friends at the Cartrimhome. If you guys remember the install of the little DRLs that we added down here with our fog lights, they do your sequential turn and then they stay a nice pretty white, and they add light down here under your fog lights when you're just driving normally. Really like this product, so if you guys didn't see that video, I'll pop it up now. This is another Cartrimhome product right here. So let's jump in and show you guys what we've got here. So these are actually the plates that pop into the back of your factory. There's factory plates that are on the top of your trunk, and that's how you access your bulbs and stuff like that in the back, and these actually just replace those. So super easy, just plug and play for the lights. So there's one, here is the other, and then here is our harness. So one good thing about this is it's actually plug and play, like I said before. So you're actually going to use your factory clips that are already inside your tailgate or in your hatch in the back, and you don't have to do any splicing of wires or anything like that. So a very easy install. Also, I was going to show you guys the product online. So here is what it looks like, as you guys can see, and pretty affordable price right here, I think, for what they're going to be. I'll let you guys know a little bit more once we get them installed and how bright they are. And obviously they've got a lot of other options on here. Here's some pictures of kind of what they look like. So I'll actually put the link down below to those, so that way you can pick them up yourself. So first things first, like I said, let's go ahead and open up the hatch and let's get into it. So now that we've got the hatch open, so to do this, to hook up all the wiring and stuff that needs to be done, which is easy plug and play like I was telling you guys, we need to pop off this back panel. And if you'll come over here on the passenger side, let me see. If you guys can see, there's this little icon right here, and that's actually where you're going to use to pry it, to pop it all off. So you'll need a pry tool, or if you don't have a pry tool, you can use a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver. Just be careful because you don't want to scratch your panel up. So I'm going to go ahead and start popping this off now.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your...
Alright, so we've got the rear panel off. And as you guys saw, so once you pop it from this side, I tried to go from the back, but you can't go this way because there's actually some hooks in the back right here. So once you get it popped, just go all the way around with your hand and pop down all the way down to here, to this corner, and then do the same thing right here. There's one push pin in the corner right here as well, and then you can actually just slide it forward. And it would actually have been a little easier if I would have known that before. And then also there's two right here in the middle that you'll have to pop up right here as well before you slide it forward. So now that we've got our panel off, now we have access to all of our factory harnesses that we're actually going to have to plug into. And then one thing on this too that you guys will need is some zip ties. So that's one thing that they don't give in the package that you'll need. You'll want some zip ties, that way you can follow the factory harness, and then also the wires won't be loose and won't be like dangling around back here, and when you're driving you'll hear them hitting stuff. So we're going to make it look nice and neat, and I'll show you guys how we're going to do that. So we've got our two harnesses laid out, and we're actually going to start with the one right here with the red wire on it. As you guys can see, you get both harnesses in the pack, and then you actually get an extra fuse right here. On this one right here, there's actually an inline fuse, and that's just in case anything goes wrong or whatever, it'll blow that fuse instead of messing up anything else in the car. So first things first, this clip right here is actually going to go to the computer that talks to the hatch and tells it everything it needs to do. So you're actually going to plug into this bottom one right here, and it actually has a piggyback. So you're going to plug that one in, and then there's actually going to be another connector that this plugs back into. As you guys can see right here, you'll plug this one in, and then you'll plug your factory one back in right here. And then we're going to do the same thing right here, which this is actually your lift gate button on the outside, and that's what tells the hatch to go up and down. So we're going to unhook it, and then we're going to piggyback it as well. So you're going to plug in the harness that they sent right here, and then you're actually going to put the factory one back right there as well. And then once you do that, this white harness right here is going to plug into the other one, which is the one that runs to either light. So let's go step by step, and I'll actually show myself plugging all this in so you guys know where it's going to go. And then this red wire is the one we're going to have to zip tie up and make it look clean, and these as well. We'll run them back and forth and make them look nice and clean right here. All right, so first things first, like I was saying, let's go ahead and unhook this bottom one. Just like that. Now we're going to grab this one here, and we're going to hook it in just like this. So now it's hooked in right there, and then as you can see, here's this harness, and we're going to hook our factory one into it. So let me kind of bend it around here. All right, so we've taken our first harness, we've unhooked the bottom plug right here on the computer I was telling you guys about. And as you guys can see, I've got it bent up, and then here's the factory plug coming in, and I clipped it together right there. So as you can see, I kind of just folded it up underneath the wires just like that. That way it's got a place to go. I'll probably actually zip tie it to this harness right here just to make sure it's secure. Now we're going to run this red wire, and I'm just going to follow the factory harness right here across, and then this is where we're going to make the plug-in for it. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead and zip tie this one up across here, and then I'll show you guys once I get this all plugged in. Alright, so I left the tails on the zip ties, that way you guys can see them a little bit better. So as you can see, here's our first harness again. I've got it zip tied right here with this big bundle of wires. And then I zip tied the red wire here, 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 and here. So it's just running right along your factory wires. And then I actually went ahead and I used the pry tool again, and I took this down. So this is where it clips in at. This harness right here clips in up there. As you guys can see, I just undone it so that way it would be easier for me to show you guys. So now we're going to do the same thing with this harness that we just ran across. We're going to plug it in here and then jump it right here with the piggyback, and then I'll zip tie this up and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so we've got our piggyback plugged in right here, and I just kind of fed the wire up behind here, and as you can see, here's our factory wire plugged back in right there. And then I just zip tied it back to this wire right here, that way it'd keep it nice and tight. And then we went ahead, and the red wire right here where your inline fuse is, I just zip tied it right there to where it'd keep it nice and tight. And then here is our plug that plugs into our other harness right here. And then as you can see, these two smaller plugs is what runs over to the lights. So what I'm going to do now is I'll plug this in right here. We'll zip tie it to the main harness, and we're going to run one of these right over with these other connectors right here, and then run the other one over to these connectors right here, because you're able to see these connectors when you pop these panels off, which are here and here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to plug it in. I'll show you guys how I run the wires across. Pretty easy. Your white wire goes here, and then just follow your factory wire over to here and over to here, and you'll need some more zip ties. Also at this time, as you guys can see, I got the white harness plugged in. I've got these ran down. You can go ahead and test both of these and just make sure they're going to work before you get everything else zip tied up. And then obviously before you put this panel back on, you definitely want to test them out to make sure everything's working before you put everything back together. All right, so as you guys can see, I zip tied the plug right here, and here's our split off. So I ran one this way right here, just zip tying it to the factory harness. I kind of put the wire together right here, because one good thing about Cartrimhome, they always give you plenty of wire. They're not like some companies where you got to stretch the wire out. So we've got a good amount of wire extra right here. Not complaining about that. Always like more than less. And as you guys can see, here's my pigtail to plug into the lights right here. And as you guys can see, I've just got it right here next to these two harnesses, because these two harnesses you can kind of see all this through the factory panels right here. So as long as you get it right here in this area, you'll be able to just grab it once you pop those panels out, plug in your light, and you're good to go. Same thing on this side. Here we go back to the split. I ran it right here. Same thing, I just put my extra wire right there. And as you guys can see, here's my pigtail coming out next to these harnesses. So one thing I would say, you guys don't have to run it the exact same way I did. Just make sure that all these little holes right here that you're seeing, that's where the push pins have to go back in at. So make sure you do not run your wires over those or connect your wires to those, because if you do, it's going to pinch your wire and then you're going to have a problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put our panel back up and reinstall it. And then I'll show you guys how to pop these panels out and install your lights. All right, so we've got our panel back on. And remember those two little black clips that are right here, just line those up, slide them in, and then just start pushing your pins in all the way around. And then make sure you guys go through the center. Just go back and forth pushing to make sure you get all your clips, because there's a lot going down the center right here and then around all the edges. So now you're gonna wanna go ahead and take your trim tool again. And then for these, you can see right here, it's a little bit wider, and that's where you're gonna go in at. And then you're gonna pop it out just like that. And then now we have access, and then as you guys can see right here is our pigtail to plug in our lights. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the lights, and then I'll show you guys what they look like. So on this right here, these little red clips, that's just to protect them in shipping, so you'll just pop those off. And then just make sure, obviously, you plug this end in before you clip it up into place. All right, so now we've got them installed and plugged in. And as you guys can see, one thing that's cool about these is there's a little touch button right here, and that is what will turn them on, just like that. So now we've got them both on. You can kind of see what they look like with the garage lights on, which these lights are super bright. And as you guys can see, it's illuminating right down in here. So with these, you've got two features. So you can leave them on like this, and then when you shut the hatch down, they'll go off automatically, and then the next time you open the hatch, they'll turn on. Or you can turn them off right here, like this. And then what you can do is you can open and shut your hatch, whatever, they're not on. And then if you need them, let's say it's dark outside, you open your hatch up and it's dark. The only thing you gotta do is put your hand across it, and they'll turn on just like that. All right, so now the only thing that's left to do is set your height for your lift gate again. If you go to shut it and your lift gate's acting funny, it's because we disconnected the computer to do this install. So the only thing you need to do now is you'll set your height. So I like mine at the highest position, so I just push it all the way up. So that's all the way up right there. And you'll set and you'll hold your button for 2 seconds. You'll hear it beep, and then now it's set at that highest range. And also there's instructions right here if you guys need them as well. The reason Toyota does that height adjustment thing is obviously if you're shorter, you won't be able to reach the button. Me and my wife are both tall enough to where we can hit it at the highest point. So that's where it's at. So now you can go ahead and click it, and your hatch will shut down. If you don't set your height, it just like keeps going up and down, like just a little bit, like right here, it'll just move back and forth. And it's not your hatch messed up, it's just the height adjustment's not set. And as you guys can see, I left the lights on, and I don't know if you can tell, but inside the lights are off now. Like I was telling you before, that's the way we're gonna leave it, is to where they automatically turn off and on. As you guys can see, they're on right now as it's opening up. And we'll shut it down one more time to show you guys that feature. So as you guys can see, we'll come to the window, and they're coming down. And then as soon as the hatch shuts, they turn off. We've got the garage lights off. I'm gonna reach under here and hit the hatch. And you guys can see how bright these lights are. So there's what it looks like. Obviously we're in the dark garage, no lights on, and that's literally all the light coming from those. So pretty impressive. I can see everything on the ground behind the car. Obviously my garage door's right here, so you could see the light would go a lot farther out if the door wasn't right here. And then you can see a lot better in your trunk area. So super nice. I'm really glad that I did this install, and it was a huge improvement to the car and a great idea by Cartrimhome. So I would give this product a thumbs up. All right guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for the hatch light install. As you guys know, that product is from Cartrimhome, and I have the link down below for you all so you can go grab them. Great product. As you can see, they're super bright, and they'll really help, you know, when you're loading your groceries, or for us, like when we go on vacation and different trips to let our dogs out. We are always traveling at nighttime, so it's nice to have that extra light in the back of the car. Also, I did want to give you guys an update on these lights up front, which is also a product from Cartrimhome. They've been installed for probably about 2 months now. You guys can actually look at the video. That's how long we've actually had them on the car, because it was shortly after I installed them that I uploaded that video. They've been doing really well on the car, doing exactly what they're supposed to. They've been switching back and forth. So Cartrimhome is making some great products for our Highlanders. So I hope you guys get on there and support them as well. One cool thing coming up, so you guys make sure you subscribe to the channel, is we actually have some interior lights also from the Cartrimhome. As you guys can see, they're also going to be an easy plug and play option for you guys. And they're going to be installed right here, so you can see your handles at nighttime. Just kind of a cool way to spice up your interior a little bit and make it a little bit better in the Highlander. So we've got Highlander videos coming up. We also have got another cool package right here from Custom Interiors for the Corvette outside. Still have the grill, and we still have the diffusers right here. Sorry, the garage is a little messy from all the holidays. So we still got those items as well that we're going to throw on the car. So please make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video, so that way we can continue growing and I can continue making great videos for y'all. Peace out, and remember, build your masterpiece.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change.